Hi guys, here we are. Just a second that I prepare my setup with my PC, which is just in front of me. So today it's Monday, and we're gonna talk about a very interesting topic, which is the designer career. And this is something really important to talk about because it is not just about sketching, about being a good student, but it is also about how we're going to develop ourselves once we go out of school and then we get into the real design world, which is job, of course, designer, to become a designer. Hi guys, I am fine. Mauro Diaz, thank you very much for your beer. Okay, I got it. I drank a very nice beer thanks to you. Okay, so everybody's coming back. Very nice. Yeah, I shaved. Yes, I did. Thank you, Siddharth. So we are 13. Let's wait just a little bit so that we can have a little bit more people connected. Ciao, Aditya Munde. Thank you again, Mauro. Thank you very much. Thank you. I really appreciate. Yes, because Mauro Diaz. Sadly, I got on my PayPal 10 euros for a beer. So thank you very much. Thank you. Hi Ray. How you doing? Thank you, Guru. Thank you. Yeah, today was I had a small presentation. So I said. Then I had also a very interesting technical meeting, which is also another thing that we will talk about one day. It's important to understand what it means to be also design manager. And that will be probably our next topic, okay? But today we will talk, ciao John, ciao. Today we will talk about the designer career, okay? So it's important. We all want to be good design students, all right? Have an excellent portfolio, and this is very important. And then with that portfolio, we get into a design job interview. And then if we deserve it, we get hired. It happened to me, it happened to John that is listening and looking at us, but it also might happen to you. And I really hope and wish that this will happen to you. But the first question is, what's going to happen? So what's next? I got hired. I have my contract. I signed my contract. I go tomorrow morning to my new design studio, to my new family. Working is almost like making a new family, of course. And what happens? Well, it's very simple. You get into a design studio where you have several studios. It depends also on the brand and how big is this design facility. Okay, some are smaller, okay, smaller entity, and some others are big. Like for example, if you come to Renault, it's huge, in my opinion. We are more than 400 people globally, okay? So between modelers and designers and all the people that are working in their fields to make sure that all this big machine is working very well. So I also reading a little bit of what you're writing. Recently, my boss wanted me to become a product manager for car model. That's very interesting, Ray. That is very interesting. Why not? We will talk about. I will keep listening, so I will tell you a little bit about that too. So A young designer that starts has a nice desk, okay, with a beautiful design station, which is its new PC, of course, okay, computer, which it's connected and has also several softwares that will give to this young designer the opportunity to sketch directly on the screen that he had got those, you know, those Cintiq design station, okay, on which you can design, you can sketch, which on which you are connected with internet, with which you can make several trendy researches which are very important for your job to exercise your job role, okay. And then of course thanks to this you will have your desk, your beautiful aerodynamic and ergonomic seat, okay, and you can start performing. Of course you will have your headphone set so that you can listen to your favorite music, and you are putting in the conditions, okay, to express your creativity. And that's the most important thing. Companies today do everything they can according to their budgets, of course. It's also a question of money, all right, to make sure that their designers and design facilities have all the money to perform at their best. It's very strategic. Design is very strategic, you know. From a design can depend the future of a company. Bad design, you don't sell. Even if you have excellent engineering, you don't sell. Very good design, appealing design, sexy design, functional design, so well thought out models, okay, they sell and they will find their market, whether it is a niche market or a big production, mass production market. And then of course the more you sell, the more budget you get and the better you can perform. So that's at the beginning. But what's gonna happen? You know, a designer is not just somebody that is sketching all day long. A designer is someone that also it's part sometimes of some meetings, okay? For example, debrief meeting, okay? Like in Formula One. Debrief, little parenthesis on the Formula One. Excellent Formula One race in Austin, Texas this weekend. I watched it yesterday and it was really, really excellent. Very good Raikkonen, very, very well done by Verstappen. I think that Hamilton had really some hard time this time. And this means that nothing is really already written about this F1 championship. And Vettel did everything he could to, I would say, repay of his mistake, because there was a mistake there, once again. But Raikkonen was great for Formula One. Okay, now let's go back to our main topic. And designers, of course, they have to follow their scale models. Yes, we do make scale models done in clay. And then those clays are scanned and then they become, of course, Nelius, a digital model on which we can do and implement lots of other stuff. But I don't talk to you about that now. Let's keep on going with with our main topic, which is designer career. So you start as a designer, and then of course the first 2-3 years you can find yourself according to what you are capable to do in terms of design, creativity, expression, the way you are able to be with your new teammates, and the way you are able to work within a team. Okay, so this is very important. And of course, during those 2-3 years, you will express your creativity on several subjects. Some subjects are important, some mini projects, okay? And sometimes this is a way to test you. But some other times, if you show that you are kind of good, you might find an intelligent manager, design manager, that will just decide to take you and put you into the fire so that you can whether get burned or do very well. Okay. And I know that sometimes this might sound cruel, but it is also a way to test people and trying to see how those people can evaluate, okay, what type of the evolution, professional evolution they can have within that team on the long run. And this something is very important you should know since the beginning, because sometimes I saw many young designers just ruin their possibilities of career because they were just pretending that they were there just to sketch and have fun and do some really beautiful artistic stuff, and they were not really following the main rules of the company, of that studio, to make sure that what they were doing was really useful to the company, useful to the team, and most of all, useful to the project. Don't forget that all those projects, most of the time, must go to production. So if you work well, you might have a chance that you are selected to accompany that project until the end. And that's an incredible experience because it's an experience that will last for about two years and a half. Somebody, ciao Michelangelo, he just is back. Ciao. And yeah, we will talk also about project management, don't worry. So, those first 2-3 years, you will work on those projects. Some are small, some are more important. And there will be some people, not a lot of people, but some people that will be looking at you, the way you behave. First of all, the creativity and the sketching and the skills. This is the first three important things, okay? Creativity you have, the skills, and how you exercise your skills to communicate your creativity. So, are those three elements as good as we saw them in your portfolio? First question mark. And the answer is given simply by the way you will work within that team on a given project. So those things are very important. But there are some other characteristics of your character, of your head, of your behavior that are very, very important too. And some people don't really think about those. For example, are you someone very, how can I say, are you someone that stands alone a lot, or are you somebody that is well integrated within other colleagues, okay, in the team? So do you have conversations? Are you a nice guy or girl? Are you a nice person? Or you are someone that you are good, but it's difficult to talk to you because you are a very reserved person. You don't show a lot your emotions. Maybe you don't talk too much. When you go to the cafeteria, instead of sitting with your colleagues, you are just on your own. Little things like that. Those are behavior elements that are very important to understand what's going on in your head, okay? Because if the company is also looking about some designers that can become sort of team leaders or managers one day, there are some elements of your education, of your behavior, okay, of your intelligence, of your culture, of your, I would say also, sensibility that must be taken into account, must be considered in order to decide if they can count on you to develop in a certain way. And that's very important. So you must understand that when you start as a young designer, you are not, I know that you will be in love with the fact that you are a designer and finally you are sketching the car and you are following a model and you are in front of your alias model and you are doing it probably or doing it with a colleague and you are extremely excited and your dream came true. That's partially true. Because I believe that one thing you should know is also that when you are inside this team working and giving your part, okay, of your professional experience, professional support, you must know that there is also other levels in the evolution of a designer. And that's what we call a designer career. Now, a designer career has some, how can I say, some levels that are dedicated, between quotes, to those that have a certain type of diploma. I give you an example. If you have a 5 years diploma or 4 years diploma, like design school, like Art Center, CCS, Pforzheim School, okay, Strat College, or some other schools that I don't have I don't remember, like MAMI International in Moscow, for example, then in that case, you can have a sort of career that can go from a designer to a very high level design director one day. Of course, this is within years, okay? It's not happening in 2 or 3 years, okay, or in 5 years. If you have a design diploma that is only a 3 years design diploma, then in that case, you might have some sort of a career, but the diploma already puts you in certain type of career cages. I call them, as we call them in French language and Italian language, okay? So I'm making a literary translation. I don't know if it's really correct. But you are getting into a block of people that can have a certain type of career. Anyway, in both cases, you have opportunity to develop yourself in career. And when you develop yourself in career, of course, it means that your salary will change. Of course, you will make a little bit more money. All right, we hope. And this happens often. Then you will start getting some benefits. And the more you move up, more benefits you get. For example, first benefit can be a car that you don't pay because the company will give you a car. And believe me, this is very interesting because you don't have to buy a car and you don't have to buy a car insurance. In some early cases, you have to buy your gasoline. But if you go to the design management, then also sometimes, according to the companies, okay, the gasoline you don't pay, it's free. Then you can get your personal computer that you can take home, like I do for sometimes, and you can work from home, or you can work and you do some stuff, and then you have this computer that helps you to perform better when you have to manage some projects. So when you have to attend to some meetings, or when you have some stuff to prepare, and you can prepare them even at home, or if you are sick at home, or you are on vacation, or you decide to take one day off, and you can still work a little bit on your projects. Then another benefit you can have, it's the smart telephone, like the one I have. And this one is also paid by the company, and that it allows you to be connected with the company. So your emails, you can read documents, you cannot send documents, but you can already manage some stuff just by the use of your telephone, your smartphone. which is of course connected to the internet, connected to the company and everything else. So all those benefits are very, very good. Of course, if you become a super director, then the company might even give you the housing so that you don't pay a rent. Imagine you're a director, it goes to another country, okay? Then you can negotiate in your contract that you want a house for free, okay? Then another thing that I have to tell you also is that in some companies, like for example Renault, you can have 6 months or 3 months, I don't know how it is today, but in my time it was 3 months, of free housing, so that the company pays for you the first 3 months in a hotel or in a residence, so that you can organize yourself, save a little bit of money, and after the third month, you can start searching to rent an apartment on your own. That's another great help. Some other companies give you a check like of $2,000 or $3,000 or euros according to the currency, okay, the country, that can help you if you have to bring stuff from your home country into your new apartment, your new house. So those are called expenses of changing address or long distance changing address, okay? So the transport, furniture, I don't know, TV, stuff like that. And those are also nice stuff that you can get. Now, not every company will do that for you, but let's say that there are some important companies that have those type of benefits. Okay, so now let's suppose that you finish your 2-3 years, early years as a junior young designer, okay? So what's gonna happen next? What can happen? I take just a second to read. Where you do master by who sounds awesome, sir? What are your thoughts about the new Bugatti? No, I'm Shivo. I'm not giving considerations of what I think of Bugatti or Ferraris. At this moment today, I don't care. We're talking about design talk, okay? About designer career. Okay, so let's go back to our topic. After 2-3 years, of course, there is an evaluation that is done by a short committee. And this committee is your manager, your lead designer, okay? Maybe the model making manager that had some work to do with you. So everybody talk with themselves for your year evaluation. And you are evaluated every year so that at the end we start understanding a little bit how you are performing and how are you taking the job responsibility, okay? And then one day we decide and say, hey, look, this guy is good. His creativity is really not bad at all. We need him. And he looks like this guy understands technique, that he's very, what can I say? He is not someone who's sleeping. He's someone very alive in the studio and on his projects. And he has a very good initiative, okay? So this spirit, of initiative, that's great. Then, because we have to imagine what type of development career we have to give to you, then with the HR director of the design department, of course, we see how all the map, of people and where they are standing compared to each other into the design studio. And then we decide, this guy from here, we can bring it here next year, okay? And that means that you get inside, okay, what I say, it's sort of a career journey, okay, that you put your feet in the beginning of your real career. And this is nice because it means that you have your design manager that appreciates you very well, your design director that appreciates you very well, and they see you someone that has a sort of maybe a charisma, that has an initiative, and then to who we could give some more responsibility. And of course, more responsibility you have, more responsibilities you have, the more you move up, and your contract case will change. So from designer, you can become sort of an expert designer, okay? Someone wrote a lot of things. Just a second. So I'm a mechanical engineer student. I want to go product and car design sector as I have very good practice on 3D modeling. What should I need to do to become a car designer? Droga, about that, how to become a car designer, I made a video. You have to watch that video because the answers are there, okay? So please, go and check that video. You can also skip some part of the video, no problem, but you will find that there. I'm not going to repeat this again here, not now. So, Mechanic Nilesh, you are new? Well, then you are welcome. I hope you are still there. How long does a designer stay in one company? That's another good question of Mauro. There are some designers that stay only 2 years, from 2 to 5 years, because they know that they don't want to die in that company. I also didn't die in Fiat. I came to Renault. To me, it took a little bit longer. But anyway, there are some people that really want to do that. They want to change. So they learn, okay, because at the beginning of your working experience is a huge opportunity to learn everything. So you have to suck everything, you know, just like a sponge. You have to take everything like a foam, okay, like a soft foam, drain all the water of the experience. And then they have an excellent portfolio, and then they decide that they would like to have an experience in Japan or in England or maybe in USA. So they want to quit Europe, or vice versa. They want to go to China, or from China they want to come to Europe, into a German company, for example, or a French company, etc. Well, in that case, those people don't really care a lot about the career. What they care at the beginning, they really want to learn as much as they can. And I think that that's very correct. You know, they are people that in their head, they have a frame thinking that is already a little bit managerial. They are trying to be managers of their future, of themselves. Where do I see me in the next 5 years? And where do I see me 10 years later? John is writing something. Yeah, 34 years. 34, all right. Things were different back then. Yeah, it's true. It's true. Because we must also to be very honest with you, that many years ago, for example, when I started, I was 11 years in Fiat. It was not so nice to see people who would go away right away. So if you have a CV with 4 or 5 different jobs, people would not trust too much. How can I invest in somebody that is always moving around? Okay, that's obvious. And also at that time, there was more marrying, you know, it's like a marriage, the company. I believe in that brand. I want to work for that brand. I have the chance to work for that brand. I'm going to stay with that brand to put my energy to make sure that the brand can improve. Okay, that's very romantic view. I believe too that I could do that for Fiat. Then you realize that sometimes reality is different, but that's okay, no big deal. Or that other people come to you and say, hey, would you like to come and work with us? Because they saw your work, because they saw an interview, they saw your work on the concept car, I don't know what, and then it's different. Back at that time, it was a little bit easier to be in our comfort zone with the same company because the connection were not like today. Today is so fast, and today you can, if you are on LinkedIn, come on guys, on LinkedIn there's always somebody that is sending you a job request or something like that. Okay, so it's completely different. Internet made all the distance so close that from one day to another, you are in front of a lot of people that see you, even if you are trying to be reserved and say, no, thank you, I am fine where I am, but they keep on coming. So two different types of cultures, I would say, of education. Today is different. Two different types of world, okay? John, today there are more opportunities globally. Movement can be helpful career-wise. Yes, John is right. Ross, what did he say? Any company policy to prevent poaching of talent from rival brands? You know what, Ross, to be honest, today it's another, we are in another world. Nobody can take me or you with a with a belt, stay with us, you sign the contract, make the cars with us, be happy with us. It doesn't work like that. It's looking like soccer games and soccer teams, okay? Look at the best players. What do? They are seduced by interesting contracts, of course. There is a lot of money involved there, okay, in my opinion, too much. But anyway, so they are, and in our world it's a little bit similar, because you take extremely important designers, they make fantastic careers. Of course, let's take Chris Bangle. I mean, Chris Bangle went from Fiat, he was almost to become the head of Fiat Alfa Romeo, and then BMW takes him and he stays 19 years in BMW to make two families in more than 10 years with an incredible vision change in terms of design, products and everything, and most of all making BMW a brand that became international brand. So there are not so many like that, of course. But then if you come down a little bit, if we come down a little bit more at, I would say, my level, which is a little bit more democratic level, okay, you still today see people that are moving. So today, the fact of thinking, I'm gonna stay 3-4 years in one company and then I want to move, so that you make 3 moves in your career, it's the best way to do. From start here, go here, and end up here. You see? So that's also a tactic, how can I say, a methodology, career method to move on, because it's normal. If you stay in the same company, you will not move as fast upward as if you change company. But if you change too many companies, in my opinion, it's not so good, because then you looks more that you're doing this for money and not because of the job mission, okay? The money will come automatically. That's why I'm always mad at people asking me, they said, how much do you make money? I want to know, because I want to understand if to make a design education is better than being an engineer in terms of what I can earn. I mean, fuck that. Come on, guys. And also, we cannot compare the mission, the passion into a job, okay? But I block my passion, even if I have all the cards to play to become a designer, because maybe I don't make too much money. That's like, come on, that's stupid. So that's why I'm always mad when people ask me that. How much money do you make? Is it good to become a car designer in terms of paycheck? Come on, all right? So let's go back to our storytelling. So let's say that you move, okay, and then you become after young design, you become a leader designer or an expert designer. So what happens to you? Do you stop sketching? You just do management? No. The question is that you will start adding to your experience as a designer also some technical notions, which means have contacts with engineers and architects and suppliers, so that you can learn in a wider way how really things are made and how your job, your work, your responsibility, your creativity can help all those people to make a better design. So that's very important. Let me read John, what you shouldn't do it for the money. Yeah, exactly. That comes later. It's the fun of designing cars that make it worthwhile. This is very good what John is writing, because it's exactly the feeling that I try to transmit to everybody. We are here doing this job because we have a strong passion and we had the chance to use our passion and turn it into our job. A lot of people have passion and cannot do that. So we are very lucky. Very, very lucky. Experience is the motivation, not the money. Yeah, exactly. Michelangelo, sir, how hard is to be designed for pink frame or something big like that? Okay, we will talk about it. After I will give you the differences between big company and smaller company. For the moment, let's follow me on this progression, okay? This career progression. So the expert designer becomes somebody that will have mainly, I would say, 28, 29 years of age, 30 years of age, okay? So he's promoted expert designer, and then he will work on his project and also in teamwork with younger designers, you know, just like he started 3 or 4 years before. And then he will start looking how the project moves on and how he can help, you know, in managing some aspects of this project, working with architects, working with suppliers. For example, if he's doing a front grille, okay, a front face, okay, and he's responsible of this mini project, he will have some young designer that will do all the sketching. And he will do the sketching, of course, also, because he has to bring us his professionality, okay, his experience. And the young people will learn from his experience, okay? And then there is a sort of same competition. At the same time, they have to start talking to the people that make the virtual model of their sketch or selected sketches, several proposals. Those proposals, of course, we must know how much they cost, if technically they are feasible or not. So to know those two things already, we need engineering department, so there will be someone from engineers that will come and participate to the project because he has to give us the engineering knowledge on that. And then for the cost, you have somebody that is expert in cost analysis, but also the supplier, because cost analysis in the company is analysis of cost. But supplier comes with his technology, his contract, and he will tell us how much he costs to do that project and how much that part will cost in reality. And then they have to negotiate. In between, there is design. So there is that lead designer or that expert designer that will learn the negotiation. And sometimes he will be able to make a very light modification to the alias virtual model or to the sketch to make sure that the cost can be reduced. So, you see, you understand that from a simple designer, you start becoming an actor of how the project is made. And that's the most interesting thing in all this, that you start becoming someone more useful than just giving your creativity and making a beautiful illustrations and following a clay model. because you are starting to get into the mechanism of how a car is made. And to make a front grille, or to make the full car, it's almost the same thing. The only difference is that, of course, the full car is more complicated. Take me today, of course, several years that I make full cars in terms of design management. Exterior design, interior design. So I have a knowledge of how you make an exterior and how you make interior designs. So what are the rules? Ergonomy, you know, just to cite one. But then also the materials that are used to make interiors are different than from the exteriors. So there is a lot of things to get to know, and a lot of things to know about technology cost. And that's the experience. More projects you do in that role, the more you learn. Today, designers are chosen also if they are able to do interiors and exterior designs together. That would be probably the best. But anyway, it's not extremely important, but if you know how to sketch exteriors and interiors in a very convincing way, it's always better. Because today, polyvalent, double cap actors are better because we go faster than before. So we are not so selected. You do this and you do only that. I do that and I cannot do that. It's not like that. Today we can take me. Sometimes I find myself to do a quick sketch on exterior detail or a quick sketch in the afternoon for an interior detail. Giving solutions. After it's not gonna be me that will make the final design, but will help designers to solve a problem solving, okay, and move on so that I know how they are working and I know what to say in meetings and say, that's our position, and defend our position, unless design is destroyed. Okay, so that's design management. We'll talk about that later. But anyway, if we go back to what we said until now, we have the figure of a young designer that moves up to a sort of a leader or lead designer or expert designer. After we cannot, the words are different, but the role is basically the same. Then you stay there few years or several years. It depends on you. If you are, once again, the growth, the margin of growth that you have, it's almost proportional to your engagement, And in life, this is something that you must know. In life, sometimes we are sad because of something that happened at home, because of, a relative went away, passed away. And we can go through period during which our feelings are a little bit low, are a little bit down. This might means that your performance, even if you want to be always perfect and everything, because we are human beings, your performance goes a little bit down. So intelligent design management colleagues or managers will understand that and they'll wait for you. But this is just an example, but this can be one of the causes that you don't pass up here when you thought you should, but later. And then you pick up the right rhythm because life goes better and you are able to cope with that in a better way, and you are more reactive, and you have a project that gives you the opportunity to show the best of yourself again, and people say, well, he's back. So we thought that place for him, which is a junior design manager, okay, or studio chief, which means responsible of a small team, okay. It's not whole studio, it's just a small unit, okay, 3, 4, 5 people. But it's a beginning of a real creative design management. And then you will see that there is a difference between those that can evaluate like in pure creative management, or those that evaluate in the field design management. For example, like me, creative management is very interesting because you are mainly on the creative aspect of being a manager. And in my case, it's global because it's the whole car. So you have to work with exterior, interior, color, material, modelers, all the people that are needed in the fields that are needed in design to make a car. And then you work also with engineers, product planners, marketing, and you are for the big presentations and all that stuff. After I will explain. When you are doing only creative, you are more concentrated, okay, on your team or your creative team. And then of course you do also a lot of stuff with engineers and stuff, but it's less important because you have other people like me that are doing that job. Okay, I hope that until now I'm clear. I'm doing my undergraduate engineer. Can I become a good designer? Mechanical engineer is not designing. Sorry, as I said, undergraduate program in design, transportation design. I already said it in my video how to become a car designer. So please go and check out the video. You too, for you too. Sir, as a student, can we work as an intern to any designer only for purpose of learning? Aditya, yes. That's why there are internship programs. You know, every car company, any design studio has this internship. I made in India the Renault Design India Academy internship program last year in our design studio in Chennai with our 4 interns that make models, and they worked on a project for 7 months. But then there are other interns now in our design studio in India where they are doing a 4 months internship in design, but also in modeling, okay? Saditya, oh, I remember that. Okay, good, great. So now you can see that when you move into this creative management spot, there is another little step in your career. And there you get a lot more responsibilities. Also because, in this case, you have your director and the director of your director on top that are closer to you. Of course, because you have more responsibilities on the project. And when you are there in the presentation to organize the job with the designers, now you have more of your time in management than you had before. This means that your creative part or your creative time in sketching, rendering, all the stuff will be reduced a little bit. And that's normal. It's part of our professional life evolution. You know, if you take me, I mean, I sketch when I sketch with you to make a full sketch, having fun, because at work I don't have any more the time to do that, and also because it's not needed. At my age, I'm not gonna compete with 24, 23 years old, young, brilliant colleagues that I have, very creative and much better than me. Of course not. So the more you move up and the older you become, your creativity will be used in a different way and will be applicated to the design project in a more intelligent way, because the creative part, the solid block of your creativity, which is the exterior design or the interior design, is done by young designers. So the more you move up, the more you will be into design management, and the more you will be involved in how your creativity in design meetings, especially engineering design meeting, can help engineers to create a better engineering for your to defend your design, because usually they come with confectionated solutions, and then we say, excuse me, can you put this here and change this there, you know, and of course that means they have to redesign their a mechanical project to support your design. And this is happening only because you are going to be the actor that with his or her creativity, okay, sketching maybe during those meetings, shows a different way, a different approach to problem solving that can have two important things. Preserve your design and create even an innovation in terms of engineering. So why not? Let me read. Would you consider a project like a Quid more challenging or price sensitive? Yes, the Quid, I know the Quid because it started in our studio long ago, 3 years and a half ago. No, almost 5 years ago. And what I want to say is that the Quid was a project that we started in terms of architecture first in our studio, and then we sent this new architecture and how can I say philosophy of approach, design philosophy approach to our design studio in India, and they developed with all the sketches and stuff, and then from there we started to create DNA of the Quid of today and the design approach. Mr. Bove and John, hey John, this is for you too. From your experiences, what do you look for in potential young design candidate applying for the same job? What are your expectations? What makes one person stand out more? Well, Mauro has written, is asking a very good question. So John, I will give my answer, okay? Because usually I have three elements when I see portfolios and when I select a portfolio to see if my boss agrees with me. And most of the time we agree, both of us. First of all is creative level, creativity, because we are paid for creativity, okay? Creativity is the key to provoke a change on an object in a car, so it's the change key for any company. Second element, so that was first one. Second element is the skills, your communication. Do you know how to communicate your creativity? Because if you don't know how to communicate, or if you are not professional enough, I'm not gonna waste my time informing you to that, because you should have done that at school. So that's important, your skills. And that's why I always say the same thing. Start from the basics. Sketch, sketch, sketch. Improve as much as you can. Experiment your colors. Look how many experimentation we did together with all the colors and all the sketches that we are doing since March, okay? Because that's exactly what we're looking for. Your ability to say, I have an idea, I put it on paper, I understand it, and it's not just that I understand it. I appreciate it the way you did it, okay? And the third thing is your attitude. We study, I mean, it's not the most important, but believe me, when we see you in an interview, I look a lot about if you are honest when you talk, if you look in the eyes, how you give the hand, whether you are like this or you are, proud of yourself, if you are too proud of yourself, if you talk too much, if you are kind of, how can I say, intellectually honest, okay? And I try to understand if you have ethic, which is very important, your behavior. Are you going to be ethically correct? And then I try to understand if all those characteristics of your character, your education, the way you are, the way you move, the way you express yourself, if all those are correct to be integrated within our studio or our design group, knowing how other people that are living with us are. So how can you match with them? So those are the most important parameters for me. I hope I answered clearly to your question. No, Tata Nano, no, I'm sorry. I see that. That's wrong if you think that. Because the Tata Nano is exactly what we did not want to do. So, also because we know by research that Indians, people in India are not very happy about the Tata Nano. Because it looks that you don't have money, basically. Well, so that's why. Okay, good, good. Thank you, Maro. Okay, so now you understand that we said we did already 3 steps, okay? So we go from young designer, expert designer, we start to do design management in creativity, okay? And then you get to another level where you have, where you will be selected, okay, chosen, eventually to become a real design manager. Now, design manager, you have 2 roles, okay? You have a design project manager, okay, like me, design project manager, and then you have design creative manager, which is only about creativity. I mean, mostly about creativity. Now, let's talk first about design creative manager. This one, okay, has a more degrees, okay, importance within the organization, and this person can have a bigger team, or he can be the studio chief, okay? It can be studio chief in a smaller studio, like for example those studios that are in foreign countries, like for example in India, which is smaller than here, okay, studio chief. And of course he is responsible for the creativity and the professional growth of his hair designers. And he will manage exterior, interior design, color and trim, and graphics. When I say graphics, means everything that has to do with stickers, but also with interior graphics, HMI, UX HMI, okay? Wait just a second. Currently studying YAD. Well, Annie, YAD is good. Coming back to the question you answered by Mara, how important is the skill set for portfolio evaluation? Yeah, scusa, Annie, all the things I said, that must come out through your portfolio and the way you will present your portfolio. It's the combination of those 2 elements, the portfolio and yourself together, in front of someone like me, like a director, like an HR personnel responsible manager, you know, the way you take those 2 and you present those 2, okay? I hope that I answer to your question. Oh, thank you. The compliment of the last 13, 40, whatever. Can't seem to post my answer. John, why? There are designers who are specialized in sci-fi, fantasy type projects. Yes. Ross, it's true. Maro, first and foremost, the portfolio. Okay. As Mr. Bove says, your personality is important. Do you have passion? We used to look for 2 things, judgment and execution. Yeah. Do you fit into our studio? Oh, that's cool. Okay, I understand. Well, anyway, if you want, you can write several times, John. Don't worry. I'm gonna read it. Don't worry, Ayush, if you're late. We are still talking. And besides, if you were late, No problem. You can go and rewind the video after that it's finished so that you can watch the previous part, okay? All right, so I want to answer to Ross, who made a very good question about the typology of designers. When you come to a job interview, when you go to a job interview, on the other side, you have a company, and you don't know if the company is looking for a science fiction designer or a more realistic, between quotes, big quotes, really more realistic designer. What I would say is that every studio needs both figures, okay? Okay, you need to be able to do both exteriors and interiors. Yeah, John is right. His design have a great deal. Okay, so the bigger is the studio, like a big company like Renault, BMW, General Motors, Chrysler, FCA. Okay, the bigger every type of profile is needed, because the interesting thing is that the synthesis of those profiles together make an excellent project. And also because you might have just concept design to make, and then of course the people that are most creative, okay, go into that studio. And then of course when they will become a little bit older, they are moved in other studios so that they can have a wider experience, also another type of design projects, okay? So I hope I answered to your question, Ross. Great. Mauro is very happy about the answers. Great. Hello, sir. What the growth graph in design studio to time and effort of a fresher? Yeah, Habib, as I said, I would say young designer, it starts 2, 3, maxi 4 years is there. Then he's promoted, as I said, lead or expert designer, and then you stay 4, 5, 6, 7 years, more or less. It depends on the companies, always. So take this with precaution, okay? Then you move to management, and you can do 2, 3 years. And then you move to the real studio chief manager or design project manager. And then you can stay several years. And sometimes after 3, 4 years, you can jump to design director, okay? Or you can wait a little bit longer before you jump to design director. So basically, you understand that if you start at 23 years old, 24 years old, you become a manager at the age of 34, 35. And you can become a design director, today is a little bit earlier than before, sooner. So I would say 38, 40 years old, you can also be 42, but basically that's the age, okay? And then of course, you are a design director, and then you are design director. Then you can move up as a vice president, VP interior, VP exterior, and then or VP VP interior, that is also responsible for color and trim. But you can also be director, design director of a color and trim. And then when you are the highest of the highest, like my super boss Lawrence van den Acker, then in that case you are VP design. That's it. Which means vice president design, which means the whole design. But it's not just Renault design as a whole. It's also other brands. If the company has other brands, and we do have other brands, for example, Samsung in Korea. So you can imagine it becomes really big, very interesting, like Dacia. And Dacia is also our brand. So Lawrence is the VP design of all those three brands. Now, recently we have also Mitsubishi, so things are evaluating, of course. The market becomes very interesting, and it becomes more interesting for us, because you can imagine if today we have interchange programs between designers and managers, that something that can be a little bit more interesting for everybody. Okay, so let's go back to the design manager. So design creative manager has the main responsibility toward his designer's team. Okay, that's his responsibility, and for their growth. So his responsibility for creativity, he takes the project, okay, and he develops the project. The project is presented to director, and it's presented to VP, okay, interior, exterior, and the main VP design. And those projects are presented also to product planning, marketing people, okay? And then you have the other, on the other side, who is the design project manager, who takes a part of this creative, okay, which is the design. And then he has all the rest with which he has to, or with who he has to work with, to make sure that the project gets into the company and can be realized for the production. So this is a job role that lasts 2-3 years according to time to market, okay? And then you basically, the design project manager, he's basically the person that defends design with the teeth, okay? Before you change design, you have to step over my dead body, basically. And this means that the design project manager has to work globally on the project. So he has to do with the exterior designers, interior designers, color and trim designers, UX, HMI designers, okay, marketing people, product people, engineers, architects. Architects means how the car is put together, where I put the people, the Oscar, how much space do I organize in the back, where I put the engine, you know, is it a small engine, do I put the windshield like this or like that, you know, aerodynamic, all that stuff. And the design project manager is in between all those figures, and he's trying to negotiate to make sure that everybody agrees, but most of all, that the design, it's not changed, okay? That's the most important thing. That's the most important thing, responsibility. And to do that, of course, there must be a knowledge that is not just your feeling of being a good designer and giving good advices during the meetings or defending wisely your design idea or your colleagues' design ideas. It is also to be wise in using creativity to push people to make changes so that you do not change, okay? Because if there is a structure that is coming out of a car seat or a side fender, then I'm making just a stupid example, but just to be easy in my understanding, my communication, I want to make sure to understand how the technique under that fender is made, to make sure that I can make a counter proposition, so that I can see with the engineers if there is an alternative solution, so that I do not change my fender, or if I do, I change but only a few millimeters and not 20 millimeters, which would be a disaster. I don't know if John agrees with me. You can get help from a graphic professional. Wow, the students are expected to design their own portfolio. That's great. Students must design their own portfolio. That's excellent. Hey guys, about the portfolio, read what John just wrote to 13V4 Art. Mr. John and Mr. I have done my product design. Where I should do my master in car design? Please tell me your preference college. Well, you know, if you've done product design, you can do your master wherever you want, to be honest. I mean, you know, Art Center, CCS, Pforzheim School, but also you could do a very good master in Umeå University in Sweden, which is very good and very close to a lots of companies of Northern Europe. They do a lot of product design. You could do this in Italy, you could do this in France. So pick up the right one. Okay, so now that I explained a little bit the role of the design project manager, okay, now the design project manager or the design creative manager get a promotion. So what do they become? Or what can they become? In general, it's design creative manager. They can become design studio director or design brand director. I am design director for Fiat. I am design director for Alfa Romeo. I am design director for Renault brand. You know, you understand? Or I am design director for exterior or for interiors. Those are design director positions, okay? And that's very interesting because, of course, there you get, you move on and you get what I think if it is for any design student, the best spot to achieve in 20 or 25 or 30 years of career, okay? I tell you right away, it's not happening to everybody. It's not automatic. I am not a design director, okay? I am a design project manager in advanced design studio since 10 years, almost 10 years, okay? And it's fine, but it's important to understand that the more you move on up, the more difficult it becomes to move up, of course, because it's not just your capacities, okay? Your skills in managing and in being a good designer and good expert design with experience or design manager with experience. It's also a lot of other stuff, and it's useless to explain to you because I think you understand. Big companies, it's like a government, okay? There are political parties, there are politics. So it all depends on several other aspects. But I would say that until the design project manager level or design studio chief, there is really, I would say, the most interesting part that is dedicated to what you can offer to the company or to that design studio in terms of professionality, creativity, engagement, okay? Seriousness, because you gotta be responsible, you gotta be serious. We can count on you. You know, you understand that. That's very important. Okay, so now, if you realize at the end of this nice talk, what do we have? We have exactly all the steps, the main steps, let's say, to go from here to up here. Okay? And this is the designer career. And this is something very important to understand. And it's very important to think of since the beginning. I don't want you to be obsessed with that. No. But I want you to think about it. Because if you start in a design studio and you just mess it up with your attitude, okay, you can be a good designer, but you will remain a good designer. And you will not move up as fast as others, and you cannot be selected as someone on who we can count on, because it can be someone that will represent that studio in other instances, like in presentations or like in design schools when we go and make lectures and stuff like that. You will remain a good designer behind your desk. And I've seen many people burn their possibilities of career because they just didn't use their head. And they fucked it up, basically. Okay? So, that's why it is important to talk to you about, excuse me, about my nose. It is important to think about a design career once that you start to become a car designer. Because I understand the romantic thing of, say, yeah, I made it, I am a car designer, or I am a product designer, now I do what I love. I will design cars for the rest of my life. No, it's not like that. You're gonna start designing cars, you're gonna start making wheel hubs, you're gonna start making door panels, you start making full interiors, full exteriors, maybe concept cars, okay? All that stuff, but then you will move, and you must move. Unless you're gonna be what? Can you imagine yourself 40 years old to do the same job of people that are 23? It's difficult. It's normal. It's human. You know, and it's human to have the ambition to know that what you can offer can push you to something else, to another place, to another responsibility. And to move on means to learn more. If you don't move up, no, if you don't participate to those more complicated projects and show what you can offer, what you can give to that project, what do? You just stay in your comfort zone, but how much do you learn more? Not very much. So, whether you do it in the same company, which will be a lot longer, for me it's been a kind of long because I did 11 years in Fiat. I started as a junior design manager in Renault, and today I'm senior advanced design manager. I've done about 10 years of production design management, and since 7 years I am advanced design project manager, which is very interesting and fun because I have to do with a lot of new technology. So also the design is more interesting because if it's not for production, the challenge is to make something very creative to become feasible. So there is a big challenge there. Let me read. Each project should tell a story. Yes. Research, concept, sketches, package, drawing, and final design product. Your portfolio should be greater than 40 pages or plus or less. Creativity, problem solving. Yeah, problem solving is very important. Well said. Rajat Malik. Mr. Bove, have done mechanical engineering and have Katia V5 professional certification. Well, then this is just, you can do technical modeling for engineers. I'm sorry. This is not designer stuff. This is, excuse me, I was speaking French. V5 or 6 is an engineering tool, okay? Yes, I know about it. I do some meetings with people that show my project, design project, transformed, okay, translated in V6 or V5, but that's engineering stuff. It's not design. It's not design stuff. So that's 3D modeling, yes, but Rajat is engineering modeling. Okay, I hope I answered to your question. Like the feeling of seeing one of your project driving down the street. That's true. You're right. John, I don't know if you want to add something to Rajat about the V5 Katia that I just, I mean, I expressed myself maybe a little bit rude, but there are people that have hard time still to understand when I say design job, design school, engineering job, engineering school, and of course, design job, design tools, engineering job, engineering tools, softwares. What advice would you give to people who don't come from the best schools, who want to come the field? Yeah, okay, the advice that I give you about people that do not come from excellent school, which can be, that's no problem. Sometimes we go in some school because they are cheaper. Let's be honest, okay? And I think there's nothing bad with that. Of course, we know that if it's cheaper, there will be a lack of something, okay? Whether it's a modeling or teachers. But, listen to me, but if you are good, if you have the right talent, alone you have to make an extra step to make sure that even if the school is not the best one, because not everybody can go to the best school, It's your extra step that will make that difference. You understand? And that's why I always insist with you, don't be happy right away with what you do, because you can improve. And you must improve. And if you are in a weaker school, because of X reasons that we do not want to know, but that we can understand, do an extra step. You must work harder and get information through us on the net. All the people that on the net are showing a lot of stuff, interesting stuff, okay? Sketchingaday.com, Scott Robertson, this YouTube channel, so that we can talk and we explain and we can sketch some stuff together, having fun but trying to learn also something. Michele Leonello tutorials, okay? Go and check it out. There are a lot of people that are doing excellent stuff. Drive to Draw. There is also a beautiful YouTube channel. Drive to Draw. Besides, this guy is from India. He went to Art Center. So this guy is really good. And then you have other people like, what's his name? The Mexican guy living in US. I think he lives in Miami. That is, does a lot of sketching. Mostly product design. Using markers. Okay? Alright, so let me see what other comments. I'll say I'm just a face Chris and creative won't be enough since design school. Yeah, but okay, I understand what is your worries. I had the same worries when I was in school because it was such a big shock for me when I went to Art Center. So I had to work harder to get it already into a mentality which was completely different from mine. And then I had to discipline myself to make that extra step that arrived after the first year and a half. At the beginning, I was not doing so well. It's the last year and a half that how can I say, it was a little bit like an explosion of knowledge that came out all together, and finally I found myself at the right level. I struggled a little at the beginning. That's normal, especially for people that are not in a certain type of mentality and culture. For the American people, it was a little bit easier because it was their system. I was coming from the outside and I discovered a completely different system. So I had to adapt myself. And besides, the language, I was not speaking. It's not that I speak very well today, but that time I was not speaking that well. So also my communication was a little bit difficult. So besides, my family was not there. I was alone. So big, huge difficulties, okay? But at the same time, get in those difficulties. Find the energy to kick back and just get the extra step for yourself. You're doing for yourself. It's an investment, or an energetic investment for yourself. Okay. Please give portfolio requirements for Arts Center College. No, I cannot give you requirements for Arts Center College because you gotta be responsible. You cannot use me to have the easy way out. You call the school, you go on the website, you take information, and you know how to do. Besides, I made several videos on portfolio and entry portfolio. The last one was on the entry portfolio. Go and check out that video, because in that video I speak about how to put together an entry portfolio that is acceptable for Art Center, CCS, and the best schools around. All right? Well, you know what? Now that is 8 o'clock in the evening, and of course, some pasta, Italian spaghetti, is waiting for me just in front of me because my kitchen is over there. I'm gonna stand up, say hello to you, and thank you very much for being with me and once again having fun together. And I will turn off the communication so that my stomach will be a little bit happier, okay? I really hope that you had fun, most of all, and that you learned something. Thank you very much, John, for cooperating to this live design talk, okay? Next week, what we'll do? We'll sketch, okay? I'll sketch again next week so that we can alternate, right? We can alternate. 1 week design talk and 1 week design sketching, all right? So in product design, which is more important, technology or from the product in current trend? Product design, guys, let's stop thinking that product design is different from car design and car design is different from product design. I'm tired of that. It's an excuse. Product design must be creative, all right? Zaya did the famous architects, okay, showed us that architecture can be interpreted and designed just like if it were a car. Look at her masterpiece. They look like concept car shapes. It's the demonstration that architecture cannot be just blocks of basic shapes done with glass or new materials, but can be also nice shaped surfaces with very interesting materials, a new type of ergonomy and interaction. Product design, it's the same. Design what you like, and then we'll see, you'll do your best to put the technology and fit that technology into that shape, into that, how can I say, into that project that you want to put in front. And then, of course, you will have problems in fitting both the two things together. And there you'll be an excellent product designer to make sure that you can make the synthesis between what the technology is asking, what I am asking as a product designer, and how we can meld those two together. Okay? I hope I answered to your question. All right. Ciao. Share. Like this video. I need your likes. There are not enough likes. Okay? Comments if you need, and share this video as usual because we can grow as a community. Ciao. Thank you very much. Ciao, John. See you next time. Have a good time in USA. Ciao, Mauro. Thanks for the beer. And if you want to offer me a beer, you know how to do. Bye-bye. Ciao.